Dan, thank you very much indeed, and the atmosphere is building here at Craven Cottage, building almost as quickly as that magnificent riverside stand on the far touchline from us. Every time you come here, it's easy to see exactly how much has been built since you were last here, and the roof is now on it and extending over the pitch. They're hopeful that they will have fans in it at some stage next season. Of course, they're very hopeful as well that they'll be here to watch Premier League football. Each of the last 4 seasons, Fulham have changed division, and it looks as though a 5th is on the cards. Avoiding a 6th, of course, remains the long-term prospect. Matches like this are certainly those that Fulham would expect to win, but they've had their fingers burnt by Neil Critchley's Tangerines once already this season. They've only failed to score in 3 games, the Cottagers, who could well break the all-time record for the number of goals both in Fulham history and in the 2nd tier in English football history. And yet Blackpool are one of the sides who've been able to shut them out. Will they be able to do that again today? These are the teams: Fulham, Rodak in goal, Adoy, Tosin Adarabioyo, Ream and Bryan the back 4, Kearney and Reid in midfield, Harry Wilson back from injury to replace Bobby Cordova-Reid, who's on international duty. Nescas Cabana plays on the left, and the highly regarded Fabio Carvalho, who scored 3 goals in his last 3 games, is in behind Alexander Mitrovic, who scored 3 hat-tricks here at the Cottage this season as part of his remarkable record of 27 goals in 26 games. And he's back from illness as well to replace Rodrigo Muniz up front for Fulham today. Their bench: Hector, Knockaert, Chalobah, Caballero, Muniz, Onoma and Gazzaniga.
Well, I think it's a team that's all geared up, set up to score goals, Jim. You look at it, Mitrovic really is a player that if you actually get the ball wide and get it in the box, you would expect goals to result from it. And everything's right about this team. It's a team that, if you're a footballer, you wouldn't mind playing it at the moment.
Blackpool make a couple of changes, a subtle change in formation as well. Daniel Grimshaw in goal. Having seen Blackpool warm up, I think it will actually be a back 4 with Gabriel, Ekpiteta, Keogh and Sterling, and then Formerly, who has tended to play on the left of centre-halves, playing in defensive midfield in a 4-1-4-1 formation. Bowler, Connolly, Dougal and Hamilton, an unchanged 4 in behind. Leading scorer Shane Lavery, the Northern Ireland international, up front. Gary Medine dropping to the bench there, along with Dale, Yates, Robson, Casey, new signing Kirk, and the substitute goalkeeper Stuart Moore. Peter Banks is the referee, and he has led the 2 teams out from the tunnel away to our left-hand side. Traffic in this part of the world today has been absolutely horrendous, to the extent that Fulham were really late turning up. Only got here at about 10 past 2. Football is a creature of habit. Alvin, does that affect you in any way when your build-up has been compromised by something unexpected, or when you're in the kind of form that Fulham in, is it easy to put behind you?
Well, I think with the form that they're in, you would expect that to not bother them. But, they're creatures of habit, as you say. Once your pre-match routine is impacted on, it can affect different players, individuals, some more than others, Jim. But I'd be surprised if they don't come out the blocks really quickly today. I think everything's set up for them. Lovely playing service, full of confidence, the crowd totally with them. And I think when you get the unison that's here at the moment, usually it only ends up with one result.
So it is Fulham against Blackpool. Fulham with an opportunity to move 8 points clear of Blackburn Rovers at the top of the table. Rovers themselves in action this afternoon away at Luton. We'll keep you up to date with all the goals as they go in. Elsewhere, a couple of pieces of significant football news. Frank Lampard has been formally offered the job as Everton manager, still waiting on the ratification of that appointment. And also, Dan Burn has been subject of a £10 million bid from Newcastle United, which has been rejected. Well, we watched the way that Blackpool lined up, and Formerly, despite not being in the warm-up in the back 5, has taken his place in the back 5 from the kick-off. One result earlier today. Thrilling game in Dingwall. Finished Ross County 3, Rangers 3, an equaliser from Matt Wright in the 6th minute of stoppage time. And that means Rangers are 5 points clear before the game starts, having played an extra game Celtic at home to Dundee United later. So the players have taken the knee. A reminder, there is no room for racism. And we're underway. Fulham, white shirts, black shorts, and they're kicking from right to left in this first half in front of a capacity crowd here of around 19,500 at Craven Cottage. And Fulham defending the Hammersmith end away to our right-hand side. And Blackpool defending the Putney end to our left, the side of the ground that houses about 2,000 travelling Lancastrians today. Fulham in possession with Ream finding Adebayo and working it out towards Dennis Adoy, the right back in for the injured Kenny Teta this afternoon. The Dutchman getting injured in that game at Stoke last week, which is a 5th successive win for Fulham in all competitions. Ream bringing it forward. Joe Bryan, who's getting a not too rare opportunity in the starting lineup at the moment with Anthony Robinson on international duty. Lays it back for Adebayo. It's a patient build-up here from Fulham, but Blackpool can't get a kick at the moment. In towards Mitrovic, who didn't really get anything on the header, but then Gabriel at the far post had to make sure he got there ahead of Cabano, who's a little slow to react. And a minute in, Fulham have their first corner.
Yeah, really difficult opportunity for Mitrovic, but he's willing to go into them sort of areas and get any sort of touch on the ball. But even in the first couple of minutes, you can see there's an intensity, the way they're moving the ball about. They're not just passing it for the sake of it. They want to get in, they want to get into advanced areas, Fulham.
There is a confidence and a swagger about them. Born of 73 goals in only 27 league games this season. Tom Kearney with a stuttering run-up sends an out-swinging ball in towards the far post, which is well headed away. It was Connolly that got the touch, one of several former Everton players in this Blackpool side. Neil Critchley himself had a coaching career at Crewe and at Liverpool, but more than aware of the players that his sides came up against, and several of the players that didn't quite make the grade at Everton have found their way into this Blackpool squad in his auspices. Here's Reed, back out towards Dennis Adoy on the Fulham right-hand side, over on the far touchline. Tim Ream, the blonde hair, the American, playing it back out via Harrison Reed to Adoy again. So much of the play concentrated in and around the edge of the Blackpool box in these early stages. The ball is flashed in from that right-hand side by Adoy. Sterling gets in the way and blocks it, and it goes out of play for a Fulham throw about 7 yards from the corner flag.
Well, they get the ball wide continually, don't they, Brian, on this left-hand side and Adoy on that right-hand side. I think it's important that you don't just keep putting the ball in there for the sake of it, though. Wait for the opportunity to put a quality ball in, otherwise, they start clearing it. Mitrovic stops making runs. So it's getting the balance right between obviously getting enough supply in there, but not just putting it in for the sake of it.
Tosin playing it forward. Harry Wilson drifting in from the right-hand side, laying it back for Ream, chipped out towards the Fulham right again, and so much of the play is gravitated through Adoy in these early stages. Good ball in towards the near post, and it's clever movement across the near post from Carvalho. He's able to flick a right boot at it, but he couldn't, despite getting it on target, work it either side of goalkeeper Grimshaw.
Well, they're looking good down that right-hand side with the right back really pushed forward in advanced areas, and that was a good ball, put along the floor. And Carvalho did great because he just actually let it run through his legs and then tried to back heel it because he was beyond the near post. It was the only option available to him. Unfortunately for him, it went straight to the goalkeeper.
First goal of the EFL afternoon. Scoreless South Wales, Newport leading Barrow 1-0. Dom Telford's 20th goal in 22 games this season. That's a strike rate that only Mitrovic can better. Blackpool take a throw from the left-hand side. It's bounced innocuously through the penalty area and out of play for a goal kick. You're listening to Fulham against Blackpool in the EFL Championship. It's live on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football. Search McDonald's Fun Football to find out more. Tom Eaves has scored for Hull, who leads Swansea by a goal to nil. Hull 1, Swansea 0, the first championship goal of the afternoon. For Hull, good start there for Shota Arveladze, who's replaced Grant McCann this week. Ream, back for Tosin Adebayo, the former Manchester City man, out towards Adoy. Adoy controlling it with his first touch, back for Adebayo with his second, and I think that is a passage of play that we will frequently see this afternoon. Ream chipping it forward. Cabano beaten to it by Jordan Gabriel. Back in the side today at right back in the absence of Luke Garbutt. Sterling has moved from right back over to left back for Blackpool to cover Garbutt's absence. And just to confirm, it is a 5-4-1 that Blackpool are operating with Thornley playing on the left of the three centre-halves. Here's Cabano, a yard in from the left-hand touchline, trying to take on Jordan Gabriel. Former Forest man, it's a lovely ball through. Carvalho working it across, and there's Mitrovic with just about his first touch of the afternoon to tap the ball over the line. It's been coming since the first whistle. Inevitably, it's Alexander Mitrovic back in the side, back on the score sheet. Goal number 28 of an extraordinary season, and Fulham lead Blackpool 1-0.
Well, that's a Premier League goal just there. Intelligence, understanding of each other's movement, quality of delivery, and a player on the end of it that was never going to miss. It really was wonderful football.
Alexander Mitrovic with the goal. It's his 17th in 14 home games this season. Wonderful touch around the corner. Carvalho making the run and able to turn it, put it on a plate 3 yards out for Mitrovic. And Fulham familiarly lead very early in the game by a goal to nil. Some start that.
I think it's the first real chance they've had in the game as well. You know, that's something else, isn't it? You know, that they're clinical when they get the chances.
Blackpool trying to work the ball forward quickly at the other end. Lavery to Jordan Gabriel. Gabriel taking down towards the byline, just ran out of room. There's good defending to make sure that he just took it on with too heavy a touch. Joe Bryan and Tim Ream with a low 5 to celebrate. So what a start for Fulham, leading Blackpool by a goal to nil. The big game in League 2, second against first at Prenton Park, and it's Tranmere 0, Forest Green 1, with Matt Stevens' 20th goal of the season, giving the league leaders the advantage up on the Wirral. Paul Mullin of Wrexham sent off in the National League very early. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Ipswich 0, Marv Johnson. Hibs 1, Livingston 0, Demi Mitchell, the former Blackpool player, scoring for Hibs. And it's Crewe 0, Rotherham 1, Michael Smith with the goal in that game in League 1. Good ball over the top from Adarabioyo, good run as well. Chipped over the top, it might go in, just wide. Flicked forward brilliantly. It was Harry Wilson with the attempt. He saw the goalkeeper off his line. Still play continues. Good opportunity to turn inside the penalty area. Kearney getting a shot in that's blocked. Harrison Reed plays it out to the left. Now Cabano's got it, left-hand side of the area. Pulled back by him. Kearney setting up the ginger-haired midfielder Reed. Back from him to Adore in his bright yellow boots. Blackpool trying to push out, but they can't do so. Kearney for Cabano. Cabano twisting, turning, getting to the byline, chipping it inside the penalty area, where it was headed at the near post and then chested down by Thornley, which wrong-footed his goalkeeper for a moment, but Grimshaw was able to recover. This could be a long afternoon for Blackpool. 8 minutes gone. Fulham 1, Blackpool 0, and they're very good value for it.
Well, I think the standard of some of the football we're seeing, Jim, is up there with the best. And when I say the best, I'm talking about Premier League, because the movement, the passing, the intelligence with which they're playing, and this is a Blackpool side who are well coached, have come with a game plan, know what they're doing. But at the moment, they're second best in every way. They're playing with patience when they have to, Fulham. But look at the way they're moving the ball about. And there's a lot of intent there. They're pinging it to each other. When it goes into tight areas, everybody knows what they want. I mean, that skill that we just seen there, I don't know if it was Kearney or Wilson. He brought it down and then tried to lob it over the goalkeeper straight away. It was incisive. It was a play of a really top player. But they're all playing with so much confidence.
Stevenage lead Harrogate by a goal to nil in League 2. Port Tisdale's side ahead through Jake Reeves. Billy Bowden's given Oxford the lead at struggling Gillingham in League 1. In the Championship, Fulham leading Blackpool by a goal to nil through Mitrovic, and Hull are a goal up at home to Swansea. Here's Joe Bryan. Play down the Fulham left for Cabano. He'll turn it back inside his own half for Ream. Ream to Adarabioyo, back out for Dennis Adore, just in front of Marco Silva in his Black tracksuit on the edge of the technical area over on that far side. He'll be delighted with what he's seen so far. They've been superb. Ream with a good ball forward. Wilson chasing after it. His touch just coming off his thigh and rolls over the line and out of play. As Sterling made sure that he couldn't get there. It's a goal kick which will be taken by Daniel Grimshaw after a torrid opening 10 minutes for Blackpool, who trail on TalkSport 2 by a goal to nil. Here's Alvin Martin.
Well, they play with a lot of width as well for them. You know, both sides. Wilson on that right-hand side, Cabano on this left-hand side. In the first few minutes, it was all down the right, wasn't it, for them? Now, Cabano's really getting into the game. He's played a part in the opening goal for Fulham, and he's getting a lot more of the ball, and they're really stretching this back five as it is for Blackpool now.
Grimshaw with the clearance down towards Gabriel, who took a tumble. The ball was already over the line by the time he got his head to it. And it's out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Fulham left. We've got more live sport coming your way on TalkSport 2. Later, it's Peterborough against Sheffield United in the Championship. Tomorrow, the 5th at T20 International between the West Indies and England from 8 o'clock tomorrow night on TalkSport 2. And Andrew McKenna, Barry Wilkinson, Jared Kimber, Steve Harmison, Alex Tudor and Jay Dernbach, your commentary team for that. There's also Gallagher Premiership action tomorrow as Sale face Leicester, and that one starts at 3. Both of those live here on TalkSport 2 tomorrow. Naskins Cabano is in possession for Fulham. Turns away from Bowler. He scored the only goal the last time these two sides met. Mitrovic heading the ball back through the midfield. And then Harrison Reed was just a little bit over exuberant. There's a shove on Lavery as he tried to control the ball. And the Ulsterman has won a free kick which will be taken by the experienced figure of Richard Keogh at the heart of the Blackpool defence. As played down towards the captain, Ekpiteta. Now Blackpool will try and build from the back. Trailing 1-0 with 11 minutes gone. It's a hopeful ball forward for Bowler. Cleared by Joe Bryan. Chested down by Jordan Gabriel. Well won back by Connolly in the heart of the midfield, which is an area where Blackpool have had a real shortage of numbers recently. Carvalho's claiming that he was fouled there by Connolly. He's another former Evertonian in this side, but Peter Banks says nothing wrong with it. Carvalho picks himself back up and just feels his neck, but he's okay. And play will continue with a Fulham throw, which will be worked out towards the far touchline. So we're back underway. Fulham leading 1-0. We're 13 minutes in here. And Mitrovic's 28th goal of the season is the difference between the two sides. And Fulham have a throw now, which will be taken on the left-hand side by Joe Bryan. Alongside me here at Craven Cottage as the cloud cover begins to thicken. And the first thoughts of the sun going down will begin to come as well. Alongside me is Alvin Martin.
Well, I think it's all about really trying to pick up where you left off if you're Fulham. You know, they were playing ever so well, but that instant would have shook everybody, the players included, the referee, the assistants, Jim. So it's really about trying to be as professional as possible now. Get back in the same vein if you're Fulham. There's certainly Marco Silva said, he's delighted with where they were. They're 1-0 up, and they've got to keep their foot on the pedal because they were so good. At the start of that game, they scored a brilliant goal, and Blackpool very much still in this game.
So here's Tim Ream in possession, and he's played it down towards Joe Bryan on the Fulham left, into the feet of Naskins Cabano, who wins the throw off Jordan Gabriel, and goes out for a throw that'll be taken on the Fulham left-hand side level with the edge of the Blackpool penalty area. Run through the two teams for you in a moment. It's half-time everywhere else in the Championship. Here's Joe Bryan getting to the byline, left-footed ball chipped in, and as Mitrovic was there to attack it, Thornley got it away, and then Cabano wrestles Bowler to the ground as he tried to get on the loose ball on the edge of the penalty area, and a free kick is given Blackpool's way. So Fulham lining up, Rodak in goal, Adoy, Tosinona Rabayo, Ream and Bryan, then Kearney and Reed, Wilson, Carvalho and Cabano, and Mitrovic up front. Blackpool, Grimshaw in goal, Gabriel Ekpiteta, Keogh, Thornley and Sterling, Bowler, Connolly, Dougal and Hamilton, and Lavery up front. Grimshaw clearing after a back pass inside his penalty area, had time to take a touch to get it away. Fulham win the seconds very neatly with Naskins Cabano in the midfield. Now Kearney, former Scottish international, laying it back for Bryan to Tim Ream. Tosin taking a touch, Lavery putting him under a little bit of pressure. Tosin can work it forward into the feet of Harry Wilson, who doesn't keep his width on that right-hand side as much as Cabano does on the left. He likes to just drop into inside right channel at times. Bryan is then there strongly in the midfield with Connolly. Kearney similarly wires into a challenge with CJ Hamilton coming in off the Blackpool left, and Fulham emerge with possession with Odoi finding Ream. Ream thought that Bryan was closer and he left it to him, and Bowler has been able to pick his pocket and he'll take it on inside the penalty area, and still he goes, but Ream did enough, got his body between Bowler and the ball. Bowler trying to nudge it past him, and Radat could come out and spare his centre-half's blushes.
Yeah, he got himself out of trouble, didn't he, though, Ream? Just there. Yeah, I've got to say that when you see him running as well, Bowler, he's a right footer playing on the a left footer playing on this right hand side here. You can see it unnerves you really, because he wants to cut in on that left, and it's on your weaker side as a defender, but he did enough for him to not allow him the requisite space to do any damage, and it went into the goalkeeper's hands. But it's only going to take one moment like that for them to get back in the game, Blackpool.
It was Josh Bowler that scored the winner when the two sides met at Bloomfield Road earlier this season. He came through the academy here at Fulham before making a move to QPR and then to Everton, but it's been an excellent season for him at Blackpool, where he's the one ever present in the team. Played in all 31 games so far this season. And he just tries to curtail Joe Bryan's progress now down the Fulham left. Ball is played back for Ream. Toasting that out to Dennis Odoi, level with us. We're about 8-9 yards inside the half that Fulham are attacking. They're kicking from right to left at the moment towards the Putney end of the ground, which is the one that houses the vociferous travelling supporters from Blackpool. Mitrovic with a clever little layoff. Carvalho for Cabano, left-hand side of the area, cutting it back onto his right foot, forced away though well by Gabriel. And then he just lost his footing, Cabano, at the decisive moment. Kenny Dougal was able to knock it away, but Fulham quickly win it back. And it's Carvalho driving in towards the edge of the penalty area. Gabriel forces him away. Harrison Reed from distance, but still he waits. Harrison Reed for his first Fulham goal. It was a comfortable shot towards the near post that Grimshaw could save well.
Well, they look really good when they're going forward, don't they? Them forward players, that they've got a real quality from Fulham. I've got to say that Cabano on this left-hand side, Wilson on the right, Carvalho, you had Kearney who plays in an advanced role, all in behind Mitrovic. It's mouth-watering really, isn't it, when you talk about quality at this level?
17 minutes on the clock. Fulham leading Blackpool by a goal to nil. And you're listening to our coverage of the EFL Championship live on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football. Search McDonald's Fun Football to find out more. The ball is with Keogh at the heart of the defence. And the former Derby man goes back for his goalkeeper. Grimshaw just getting it away from Mitrovic, applying the press. Pateta, Ford outside the penalty area. Connolly, and then two Fulham players went for the same ball. It's still pantomime season here at Craven Cottage. Cabano and Bryan attacking it. It was like giant haystacks and Big Daddy, I'm showing my age now, and a Big Daddy splash. They both ended up on the deck, and the ball rolled innocuously over the line and out of play for a throw.
I get you, Jim. I'm old enough. I get you.
It's a throw which Gabriel will take. Our stadium producer, Deck McCarthy, looks at me quizzically. Google it. The ball forward from Gabriel. Ream trying to get there ahead of Lavery. Harrison Reed sticks his head in but can't find Ream. Kearney able to pick up the loose ball in the midfield. It's a good turn to get away from Dougal in the midfield, and then play forward as well very neatly towards Carvalho. Carvalho for Mitrovic, who plays the way that he's facing. Back for the flame-haired Reed. Now to Odoi. Odoi back for Adebayo. Kearney. Joe Bryan on the left-hand side. Kearney's turned away from him. Just engages Connolly before working back for Adebayo again. Reed now out towards Dennis Odoi. Goals in the Championship. Bournemouth a goal up at Barnsley. Hull 2 up at home to Swansea. Bristol City lead at Preston 1-0. Reading's miserable season continues. They're 3 down at QPR at half-time. Lyndon Dykes has got a couple of those. 0-0 in the others. Here's Joe Bryan down towards Cabano. Cabano, right-footed ball swung inside the penalty area, sliced away. And then Hamilton trying to turn. Adoy's done well, sticks his foot in. Forward it comes towards the edge of the penalty area. Kearney didn't get the return ball that he wanted from Carvalho. Blackpool whack it clear. Rodak comes outside his penalty area, takes a touch and then chips it forward. Cabano knew that he was going to be offside, and so He let it run, and it drifts over his shoulder, and Gabriel will pick it up, but it's a throw to Blackpool, hemmed back in their own right-back position, only about 4 yards from their own corner flag. 19 gone in this delayed game here at Craven Cottage, where Fulham lead Blackpool 1-0.
Been very impressed with Fulham. We all knew that they run a fabulous role, scoring goals for fun, but I've been impressed with all of them. The way they actually work the ball from back to front, the full-backs in terms of defending and attacking, and in the midfield area, knowing what they've got to do to win the ball back if they do lose it, which isn't very often, I've got to say.
Coming up later on TalkSport 2 at the conclusion of this game, Peterborough against Sheffield United, the second half of our double bill of live championship action from the EFL here on TalkSport 2 today. That one will start just before this one finishes. Ball is brought down in the midfield by Connolly for Blackpool in their familiar tangerine kit. Chip forward down the right hand side by Gabriel. His second deflection goes out of play for a Blackpool throw. About 20 yards or so inside the Fulham half away to our right hand side. Fulham leading Blackpool by a goal to nil. As I mentioned, second place at Blackburn at the moment being held at Luton, who've been in good form themselves, 4 wins in 5 for the Hatters. Blackburn have won 8 of the last 10 league games, but coming into this have only scored 2 goals in the last 4 and haven't found the breakthrough so far today. So Fulham extending their lead by another couple of points as things stand at the top of the championship. Leading courtesy of 6-minute goal from Mitrovic, who's in possession now, beaten to it by Thornley, but he used his hand, and it's a free kick to Fulham inside their own half. They lead 1-0 as we approach the midway stage of the first half.
Yeah, I think with the break in play, the long break in play that we had, it's probably allowed Neil Critchley to sit his team down, give them a talking to about the spacing, about what they've got to do now to get back in this game, and they look like they've responded well. It's been a solid affair for them, isn't it? After the restart. Yeah, and the 12 minutes that were played before the medical emergency, the official stats, 86% of the possession to Fulham, who had 6 shots without reply. It's been a slightly more even contest since then. Fulham's still dominant, and they're still having the majority of possession, but it's not in the 80s since the restart. Here's Adebayo, too far outside his own penalty area. He's pulled it back for Rodak. Rodak, the Slovakian international goalkeeper, playing it forward in towards Kearney. Kearney for Harrison Reed, one-time Southampton man, taking it through the D on the edge of his own penalty area. Now to be played forward by Ream. Ream to Kearney, who can turn, and Adebayo is given the licence to come forward and playing Dennis Odoi. Harry Wilson turning it around the corner brilliantly, and Odoi is in behind the full-back, and Sterling made sure that he didn't get a cross in. He cleaned him out. It's gone out of play. In fact, it's a throw that has been given rather than a free kick. I thought that the foul was just a good old-fashioned challenge. We won the ball cleanly, throw taken, and into the feet of Wilson. It looked as though it had come off Sterling, but the assistant referee, who had a very good view of it, didn't have the same judgment as to who got the last touch as the 2 Fulham players. You can usually tell by the players' reaction and the look of mystery on Harry Wilson's face suggested that had to be a throw really to Fulham rather than Blackpool, but Sterling's got the ball in his hands and he will restart play. It's right in front of the referee's assistants. It's a metre away from him, and that's what you can tell they're both agitated, because you do think as a player, how can you miss that? Ekpiteta finding Jordan Gabriel. Gabriel goes back for Ekpiteta again, about 6 or 7 yards outside his own penalty area, and he's chipped it straight into the Fulham fans in this stand. I think that gets the award for the worst pass of the afternoon, definitely. Not the best. He's a really good player. He's had an emergence, a swift emergence from playing for East Thurrock, and then was at Leighton Orient, and now finds himself as the captain of the side in the Championship. Brian getting the ball in, Ekpiteta with a touch, and that one was safer. It wasn't the best. He got his chest behind it. He was hoping to chest it down and clear it. It's bounced off his chest and got out of play for a corner, which is Fulham's second of the afternoon. First goal anywhere in the second half of games. Lincoln's new signing, John Marquis, they've just bought from Portsmouth, and he's opened his account for Lincoln at home to Burton this afternoon. Lincoln 1, Burton 0. Corner to be taken on the Fulham left-hand side by Wilson. It's an outswinger, just headed away
from the penalty spot. Back in from Kearney. Cabana will chase after it. Pitetta was there first. That was a much better defensive contribution from the Blackpool skipper. He was fouled in the process by Cabano, and it's going to be a free kick which will be taken by Blackpool inside their own penalty area. 24 minutes on the clock. It's Fulham leading Blackpool by a goal to nil. A reminder, some other upcoming sport on TalkSport 2. Tomorrow, Gallagher Premiership action, Sale against Leicester from 3. And then the 5th T20 International between the West Indies and England, going your way live and exclusive on TalkSport 2 at 8 o'clock tomorrow. And following us here on TalkSport 2 tonight from the Cottage, more championship coverage as Peterborough take on Sheffield United with Nigel Adderley and former Arsenal winger Perry Groves, your commentary team there. And that will follow at the immediate conclusion of this game. Fulham leading Blackpool by a goal to nil, 25 minutes on the clock.
Still in control of the game at the moment. Blackpool's still very much in the game, but there's just a little bit of penetration. They were showing a lot of penetration early on in the first 11 minutes of the game. You know, they were getting the ball wide. It always looked like they were under pressure and they were being stretched to move out of position, Blackpool. They've looked a lot more comfortable now.
Oxford 4 up at Gillingham, though I think it's fair to say aren't looking comfortable. Cameron Brannigan with the second, and Dennis Adoy is going to be the first player to have his name taken, as Hamilton, the left winger, had got him past him towards the edge of the penalty area, and Adoy fouled him. The contact was outside the penalty area, but this is a chance for Blackpool.
Yeah, he just lacked a bit of composure there. He didn't know where he was, Adoy, and really, I tell you, I think there were players in close proximity to him, otherwise that could have been a red. He just pulled him back.
It was only the fact that the other defenders were there that stopped it being the denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. So Adoy's in the book, and Blackpool have a free kick. Rodak has asked for a 4-man wall, which is just being frog-marched back by referee Banks. The free kick is way out towards the left-hand side of the box, and it's only a couple of feet outside the penalty area. There are 4 Blackpool players inside that Fulham box, including Richard Keogh, who's hoping to steal a march on Adoy. He's much taller than Adoy, and try and come round the back. That might be the ball that Blackpool try and play here. Bowler standing over it, and he's going to be whipped in right-footed. Rodak beats it away. A good save, diving away to his left-hand side, and then a foul then committed by Dougal, who took out Adoy. And the Fulham player's not happy with the quality of that challenge, and Dougal's going to be spoken to by the referee, but I think he's going to escape a yellow card.
That's Fulham players really trying to get a Blackpool player booked. Look, it was a fair challenge. Both of them went for it. It was a foul. Fine. It's not a bookable offence, though.
It's a decent free kick from Connolly, got it round the wall. I think Rodak would have been disappointed had it beaten him. He took a couple of steps to his left-hand side, was able to beat it into a safe area, and then the free kick is given away. Dougal not in the book. Adoy is for his earlier challenge. 27 minutes gone. It's Fulham leading Blackpool by a goal nil. Bolton 3 up at home to Sunderland. Dion Charles has scored the latest. A poor afternoon for the Black Cats. Blackpool in their best spell of pressure of the game at the moment, and here's Hamilton. Just couldn't quite keep it in over on the far touchline. And it's a throw which will be taken by Fulham. CJ Hamilton, the winger, always concentrates the mind when your club signs another player in your position, which has happened this week. Charlie Kirk on the bench, having signed on loan from Charlton. Hamilton getting the nod to keep his place in the starting lineup. This is a Blackpool side that have won the last couple of games, beating Millwall by a goal to nil and Hull by a goal to nil before that, although they had a defeat to 4th tier Hartlepool in between times in the FA Cup. Fulham at the moment set fair for what would be a 6th straight win in all competitions, leading courtesy of that Mitrovic goal. Fulham 1, Blackpool 0. Here's Alvin Martin.
Since the resumption, Jim, they've nicked a couple of balls. Blackpool, they're playing higher up the pitch. They're looking at putting more pressure on the ball. And Reid, who's the deepest of the Fulham midfielders, he's been dispossessed a couple of times. So they've certainly come out after the resumption and started to press higher up the pitch. And sometimes when you nick a couple of balls, it just takes a little bit of confidence away from Fulham in their build-up.
Queen's Park Rangers leading Reading now by 4 goals to nil. Not that long ago, of course, that Fulham stuck 7 past Reading. And the 4 down inside an hour today. Here's Ream. Back for Tosin inside the centre circle. To Dennis Adoy. Adoy is going back inside his own half under pressure from Hamilton, who will be encouraged by the last couple of instalments of their personal battle. Harrison Reed has it now. Little 1-2 between him and Adarabioyo. Now played forward towards Kearney. Kearney able to chip the ball over. Bowler, it's a good first touch from Bryan. Just couldn't get the return ball from Cabano. Carvalho trying to make something happen, was pulled to the ground by Connolly. And it's a free kick which will be taking Connolly and throwing the ball away. But no yellow card for that. And it's a free kick which Fulham will take 12-15 yards inside Blackpool territory.
He's got to be right to be unhappy, Connolly. I think he just muscled Carvalho off. That was a bit stronger than him. The referee's seen it a different way.
Preston 1, Bristol City 1, Emil Jakobsen with the equalising goal at Deepdale this afternoon. That's the Bristol City side who've lost 6 of the last 7 games. It's Mitrovic, good save by the goalkeeper Grimshaw.
What a weird patch of play there. It was a ball that was played in. It's a non-dangerous ball, but a Blackpool player, I think it might have been Thornley. It's ricocheted off his head. It looks like the keeper's stranded and saved by his post. Unbelievable.
As the ball was just hit across the field, Thornley got something on it. He was about 25 yards out and it bobbled back towards his post. His goalkeeper was stranded. It came back off the post to Mitrovic, and Grimshaw then made a good save to deny him. Forest Green 3 up at Tranmere. Jordan Moore-Taylor in the big game in League 2 today. Fulham now have a free kick which is led with the edge of the Blackpool box. We played half an hour in this delayed game here on TalkSport 2. Fulham leading Blackpool 1-0. Wilson standing over this free kick with Harrison Reed. Wilson makes his run towards the ball. It's left for Reed to fire in. And Mitrovic couldn't quite get there before Sterling, who can clip it clear out of the left-hand touchline. Back from Reed to Wilson. High ball in from him, and Mitrovic climbing high, heads wide, but the flag was up anyway. It's a free kick to Blackpool.
Just started to lift it a little bit now, more Fulham, haven't they? I think they're getting a little bit frustrated, a bit more tenacity. They're getting the ball into better areas against Blackpool. But again, I think it's a fairly resilient performance up to this point by Blackpool.
In the Championship, Bournemouth leading at Barnsley by a goal to nil. Blackburn 0-0 at Luton. And Fulham leading by a goal to nil here. Those are the fate to the top 3 at the moment here on TalkSport 2. Adarabioyo heads the ball away and out for a throw which will be taken over on the Blackpool left-hand side. Burton have equalised at Lincoln with a goal from Joe Powell. Blackpool still looking for an equaliser of their own here. Ball thrown forward. Adarabioyo hammers it away, high up into the sky. Mitrovic, such a physical presence as the leader of the line, putting pressure on Richard Keogh. Keogh did well, and now plays it down towards Gabriel. And the right back can make his way forward. Bowler on the overlap outside him will want to check back inside if he can. Bryan almost lets him do that and dives in and makes the challenge. It's worked back towards Connolly. He can swing it in. Hamilton there to attack it. Adoy got it away, and the header then comes back in from the left back Sterling, and it's easily picked up by Rodak. But they're looking more purposeful when they're on the front foot, Blackpool, albeit that Fulham continue to lead 1-0.
Well, I said this before the game, Jim, that that was the aim coming into this game. Is they're going to be second best in terms of possession, but at the right times to commit people forward and look like you've got a goal in you. And certainly after the restart, they've looked much more likely to get a goal.
Andras Spora, Middlesbrough's leading goal scorer now, has just given Borough the lead with his 7th of the season at home to Coventry elsewhere in the Championship. Ream to Adarabioyo, down towards Adoy. Blackpool winning it back. Lavery bringing it forward, and Adoy had to win it cleanly, then make sure that he didn't dive it as Hamilton flicked it away. But Tosin came across the cover. Hamilton's touch was heavy, and it rolls out of play for a goal kick.
Again, another example of them pressuring the ball higher up the pitch, Blackpool, and getting a reward for it. And like I said, it makes them a little bit more tentative now. They were having it all their own way, Fulham at one stage, not anymore.
Another Cameron Brannigan penalty. It's Gillingham 0, Oxford 5 in League 1, and Brannigan's got a hat-trick. Another player that worked with Neil Critchley in his time at Liverpool, Cameron Brannigan. Ball thrown by Joe Bryan back towards Tim Ream. 11 minutes to go to half-time. There's not going to be too much stoppage time to be added on in this game that is subject to that lengthy delay. We lost about 42 minutes of playing time. Ball be played forward. Cabano will chase and go right through the middle. Grimshaw with a little stumble, but was still able to get there. Picks up the ball on the edge of his penalty area, bowls it out quickly for Gabriel. Gabriel forward, but Joe Bryan is in strongly. Connolly is in there battling to try and win it back. Carvalho has won it back. He's deceptively strong for a relatively slightly built teenager. He's done very well there to retain possession. Here's Kearney turning away from Connolly, and then Lavery finding Carvalho. It's a lovely turn from him in the midfield. Played down towards Naskins Cabano on the left-hand side here for Fulham. Cabano with quick, tricky feet, taking on Gabriel. Wants to try and beat him on the outside if he can. Comes back in on his right foot, looking for Mitrovic, but it's knocked away by Thornley. Reed in there battling then with Lavery, and Lavery can bring it away. He's got Bowler to his right. He's got Mitchell making a run through the middle. He's trying to play in Bowler. Bowler running at Ream, onto his left foot. Oh, he's hit the crossbar. The closest that Blackpool have come to an equaliser. An excellent counter-attack. Bowler, the former Fulham man, getting it onto his left foot, hitting a rising drive. It beat Rodak, but smacked the bar and goes into the Hammersmith end.
Well, we've got a game on our hands now, no doubt about that. You know, they've got renewed vigour. Blackpool, they've got a lot more going forward than we've seen in the early stages. And that was a 3 versus 3 break. They dispossessed the ball. They broke really cleverly. Laverly has certainly got a lot of pace about him. He gets himself turned, plays the ball to Bowler on his right hand side, and he's one-on-one again with Ream. Ream come out on top in the first challenge that they had. This one now, he cuts inside. You know he wants to get it on his left foot, and he does everything well apart from just getting that lower. He hit the bar when really, if the keeper's nowhere near it, 6 inches lower, it would have been a fabulous goal.
Bolton 4, Sunderland 0. Kieran Lee has scored the latest as Carvalho is fouled there by Connolly. Harrison Reid, I think, is making the point that's not Connolly's first indiscretion of the afternoon. Well, the referee will come across. Connolly helping Carvalho back to his feet. In Scotland, Hearts lead Motherwell 2-0, and it's Ellis Sims who had an excellent loan spell at Blackpool in the second half of last season who has scored the second. Hearts 2, Motherwell 0. No yellow card for Connolly, to the dissent of some of the Fulham fans around us. 1-0 they lead, 8 minutes to go to half-time here on TalkSport 2. Jim Proudfoot and Alvin Martin talking through the action from Craven Cottage.
I think I'm safe to say that the next missed time challenge by Connolly will be a yellow card.
It might just be. Well, the ball played over the top by Ream, headed away by Keogh. Reed is in there with Dougal. The ball was there to be won for both players. Dougal's going to get a yellow card for raising his boot. Reed ducked his head. He's not the tallest anyway, Harrison Reed. He's probably only about 5'7". Ducked his head in. The taller Connolly, raising his boot to try and play the ball, caught him. And it's going to be a free kick which will be taken by Fulham, and a yellow card in the midfield for Dougal.
I've got sympathy for Dougal there, because it's a ball that you've got to go for, and he's low with his head. I don't think there's anything wrong with Reed. Reed is always the first Fulham player. There's a few of them that whenever there's a challenge on a teammate, he's there trying to instruct the referee to get a card out. That works both ways.
Shrewsbury have equalised at Wimbledon 1-1. Daniel Udo with that in Scotland. Still Celtic 0, Dundee United 0. So at the moment not able to take advantage of Rangers slipping up at Ross County in the 12:30 kickoff. The Rangers 4 points clear as things stand right now, but Celtic with the opportunity, if they can find the breakthrough at home to Dundee United, to reduce the lead to 2. The National League, Stockport, who are still good bets for promotion, leading 2-0 at Barnet through Ryan Johnson. One of those games about 10-15 minutes into the second half. This one still 7 minutes from half-time after the first half delay. Harrison Reed taking the free kick. He was okay. Mitrovic, it's a shove to the ground. No real complaints. Put his arms up, hopefully asking the question of the referee, but I don't think he expected that the referee was going to find against Keogh. And now Bowler is coming more into the game, running down the right-hand side of the penalty area on the counter-attack. Gabriel, as it's half cleared, will be able to pick up possession here for Blackpool. Down towards the corner flag, smacks it into Cabano. Reed will be able to clear. Mitrovic holding it up well. Wilson working well in tandem with him, and now Adoy makes his run forward, and Mitrovic, left arm above his head, sauntering forward towards the edge of the penalty area before Adoy is fouled, and that's going to be a free kick in a decent position over towards the right-hand touchline and about 10 yards adrift to the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, it was Hamilton really tracking back on Adoy. Certainly looked like he put pressure on Adoy. I'm not sure it was a foul, but we have got a game in hands now, haven't we? You know, you don't know which way this is going to go now. Bowler's getting much more involved on this right-hand side for Blackpool. Whenever he gets the ball, he wants to go at the last defender, and he's had a couple of really quality runs on this right-hand side, and just all round, you know, a better team. As soon as they dispossess Fulham, they're not looking at just keeping the ball. They want to go forward. They want to commit people forward, and Fulham are looking at rattled at times.
Livingston now 3-2 up at Hibs, and Gillingham had one back, but still 5-1 down at home to Oxford. Free kick to be taken on the Fulham right. Reed and Wilson standing over it. Wilson hands on hips for a moment, gives the signal. Reed leaves it for him, left-footed, swung it towards the far post. It's missed everybody and goes innocuously across the face of goal and wide for a goal kick that will be taken by Grimshaw. And Cardiff are the only side in the division who failed to score in more first halves than Blackpool this season. They've only found the net before half-time in 7 of their 27 league games before today. They've come close here with the effort from Bowler that has hit the bar, and the longer the game has gone on, the better they've looked. But they trailed to that early Mitrovic goal. And prior to the medical emergency, Fulham were sensational. The opening 12 minutes, they were just majestic. Good closing down here from Naskins Cabano. Ekpateta playing it forward. It's come into Cabano and goes out of play for a goal kick that will be taken away to our left-hand side. 4 to go to half-time. It's Fulham 1, Blackpool 0 on TalkSport 2.
I think, you know, he did get a block in there, Cabano. But I do believe if he goes just a little bit earlier, he gets to the defender before the ball gets to the defender, and that's when you start stealing balls off them.
Brian is playing it forward, knocked away by Gabriel. Adebayo taking a touch, finding Ream, and getting it back from Reed. Playing it forward then to Kearney, who's given the instruction to turn, but Hamilton comes back and dispossesses him. Kearney thought that was a foul. Hamilton to Bowler with his shocker blonde hair. Back towards Ekpateta, about 15-20 yards outside his own penalty area. The sun begins to go down behind the stand on the far side. Always used to be a problem for fans sitting in the stand looking across, because the sun, when it came down, was always in your eyes. That'll never be a problem again because of that magnificent new stand over on the far touchline, but you can see the sun just poking through the fading sun through the entrances and exits of that new stand over on that far touchline, which is going to be glorious when it has been finished. 1-0 Fulham leading here with 3 minutes to go to half-time, and Harrison Reed in possession. Played it out towards Dennis Adoy. Martin Little of Yeovil sent off. Plymouth are 2-1 up at Doncaster now through Joe Edwards. West Brom's poor form continues. A goal down at Millwall with Mason Bennett, the man on target there. Millwall have lost their last 4, but they lead going into the final quarter of that game against the Baggies, who've only won 3 out of the last 13. Their promotion challenge has really hit the skids. Grimshaw getting it away. Just had the height that he wanted. Didn't make halfway though. Brian sorted that and brings it forward. Finds Cabano. Left-hand side of the area. They're queuing up in the middle. It's too deep for Mitrovic. Wilson that was coming in, but it was knocked away by Keogh. Kearney can pick it up. It stayed in. Just Adoy. Forced back by Mitchell. Gets around the challenge of Lavery. And then finds Tim Ream. Ream now to Reed inside the centre circle. Everybody for Blackpool back behind the ball. Tim Ream. Blonde hair tied up in a ponytail. Back out towards Kearney. Kearney to Adebayo. To Ream again. 90 seconds to go to half-time. Fulham leading by a goal to 0. Play forward towards Carvalho. Carvalho to Cabano. Swindon take the lead at Colchester through leading scorer Harry McCurdy. Right-footed ball from Cabano out to the Fulham right, and Wilson stretching out a left leg. Couldn't quite bring it down. Elsewhere, Cambridge goal up at Fleetwood. Anthony Pilkington own goal. Mickey Dimitri has also put through his own net to give Barrow a lifeline at Newport. And here, it's Fulham 1, Blackpool 0 with a minute to go to half-time.
Well, they're still playing some good football, but I think, it's been matched really by some fabulous defensive work by Blackpool. They're looking much more solid. I can't remember the keeper having to make a save after the restart, and that's how well they protected him.
Just had that one freakish moment where the ball deflected off Thornley and hit the post. Blackpool have hit the bar at the other end with an opportunity that was much more cleverly crafted. Fulham fans just reminding everybody of their supremacy at the top of the championship. Fulham, as things stand right now, on 60. Here's Cabano on the edge of the D, pulling it back towards Wilson. Wilson to Reed, and now to Carvalho again. Carvalho, bottom left-hand corner of the penalty area, faced up by Bowler, laying it back for Reed. Clever ball in. Wilson, good save. Wilson again with a little backheel flick, and the keeper has tipped it onto the roof of the net away from Mitrovic for a late corner. Mitrovic then squaring up to Sterling inside the 6-yard box, and Ekpiteta has to get between the two of them to calm it down, and the referee's going to have a word with them as well. There's still some simmering tension in there.
Well, it was a fabulous ball by Reed. It really was. It was disguised and then played into the real tight area. And Wilson had made the run. I've got to say, the keeper sees it really quickly, Jim, and comes out, makes a save. He tries to improvise and get it back on target, and he can't do that. But that was real quality from both Blackpool and Fulham.
Mitrovic picks up a yellow card for his part in that. The third player to have his name taken in this first half. We're into one additional minute at the end of the first period. And it's going to be a corner that'll be taken by Tom Kearney. Fulham's third of the afternoon. Swung in, but headed away by Keogh. And out for another corner. Not really going to be time to take, just about time to take it. Dougal doing his best to eke as many seconds off the clock as he can. Just kick the ball into the hoardings. Carvalho acting as the ball boy, throws it down towards Kearney. So this will be the last attack of the first half. Kearney spotting it down, just trampling on the ground, just on the edge of the corner quadrant. He's got Wilson offering himself a short one, although Lavery's trying to stop that pass being played. Kearney's going to whip this in, another left-footed away swinger in towards the near post, but is easily cleared in that near post area by Dougal, and that gets us belatedly to half-time. The half that saw a 42-minute delay because of a medical emergency. The football prior to it was sensational from Fulham. Alexander Mitrovic scoring on 6 minutes to give them the lead. Blackpool, much better after the restart, responded well. They hit the bar through Josh Bowler, but we get to half-time with Fulham leading Blackpool by a goal to nil. Well, the teams are just out for the second half as news comes through that Bolton are 5 up at Sunderland. Danny Bart's put through his own net there. Alvin and I just reminiscing, I remember the famous game, Al, that you scored a hat-trick in an 8-1 win for West Ham against Newcastle. You scored a penalty you scored a hat-trick, 3 goals against 3 different keepers. Today, Cameron Brannigan of Oxford has scored 4 penalties in 1 game. I don't ever remember that happening. A 6-1 Oxford lead at Gillingham, and Brannigan's got 4 of them, all penalties. There must be not just technique, there must be a certain amount of poker goes on there as well.
Bit of cat and mouse.
I'm not playing poker against him tonight.
Who won? Not the keeper.
No, not the keeper, and not Gillingham either. We're just back underway for the second half here at Craven Cottage. No changes in terms of personnel. Fulham white shirts and black shorts, and they're kicking from left to right for this second half. Colchester down to 9 men for the conclusion of their game at home to Swindon, with Luke Chambers sent off, and Gary Cahill's just been sent off for Bournemouth, who continue to lead at Barnsley, but only 1-0, and they're a goal up but a man down for the closing few moments. We're a minute into the second half here. Fulham lining up, Rodak in goal, Adoy, Tosin, Riemann, Bryan, Kearney and Reed, Wilson, Carvalho, Cabano and Mitrovic. Blackpool, Grimshaw in goal, Gabriel, Ekpiteta, Keogh, Thornley, Sterling, Bowler, who's really caught the eye, Connolly, Dougal and Hamilton, and Lavery up front. Fulham subs, Hector, Knockaert, Chalobah, Caballero, Muniz, Onoma and Gazaniga. Blackpool, Dale, Yates, Medine, Robson, Casey, Kirk and Moore. Now here's Sterling, the left back, and it's all he could do to get his head to a long ball forward from Grimshaw. It's come off the top of his head and gone out of play for a throw, which will be taken on this near touchline by Fulham in front of us. In the National League, Solihull Moors have stuck a fifth past Altrincham. Their second 5-0 in quick succession, having put 5 past Dover recently. Solihull Moors 5, Altrincham 0, Bolton 6, Sunderland 0. Declan John has scored the latest there. I don't think too many will have seen that coming today. Here, it's Fulham 1, Blackpool 0, and here's Alvin Martin.
Listen to some of these scores. I wonder where all the defenders have gone, Jim.
Is that not alongside me? Here's Carvalho inside the penalty area, and he's hit the inside of the left-hand post, and it's drifted away and down over the right-hand touchline and out of play for a throw. There's another exhibition of the real quality that the young man has. It was an excellent piece of play. He took the ball on his chest, got between two players, little 1-2s, it threaded back into his path, and then he took it on past the goalkeeper, drove it near post side, and it's come back off the face of the post and to safety.
What an individual cameo that is. That is wonderful ability, but he will be disappointed right at the end, Jim. He's got the goal at his mercy on his left foot. He hasn't nicked that in the top corner, because everything else he did perfectly.
Here's Connolly for Blackpool, laying it back to his captain Ekpiteta, whose ball out of harm's way is intercepted by Harrison Reed before it got to Shane Lavery. Reed then turns it way back inside his own half to his goalkeeper Rodak, and played forward by him to Tim Ream. The second half, Blackpool have outscored their opponents in half of their away games this season, which is some record for any side, particularly though when you bear in mind that they're a newly promoted team. To be so strong in the second half of games, very impressive. Will they be able to further add to it here? Gillingham 2, Oxford 7. Gillingham pulling one back, and quickly Oxford restoring their 5-goal lead. A 9-goal thriller there. Gillingham 2, Oxford 7. This one's still 1-0, 4 minutes gone in the second half.
You know, that stat you've just given there, Jim, it tells you that there's a bit of character about this Blackpool side, doesn't it? You know, they stay in games, that they are certainly a team that will show the right desire, the right approach to a game. And I think the second half, you can see the way they've started off, Fulham. I think they've said to themselves, or Marco Silva, I should say, said, nick the ball.
Here's Bowler, he's won it back from Ream, edge of the penalty area, and the tangerine shirts came forward either side of him very quickly, but just added a little bit too long, and the chance had gone as quickly as it had arrived. Odoi, Kearney, and it's come back off Sterling, but Fulham should be able to bring it away easily enough with Adebayo, but that was Tim Ream dallying in possession. Fulham able to play it forward now. Wilson playing it out towards Cabano inside the penalty area, checks onto his right foot, a shot hits Gabriel and ricochets behind for a corner.
Well, I think both teams have made the decision they're going to press the other team, and they've both been successful to a certain degree, in turning some of the defensive errors into mistakes, and possibly that occasion there that Blackpool did it. Ream was actually dispossessed. They didn't make the most of it. It was Bowler who was being impressive, as you said, all the way through this game. Should have played a better ball in.
First corner of the second half goes Fulham's way. That's going to be taken on this near side. And first of all, the Fulham players are arguing, I think, about the position of Lavery, saying that he's not 10 yards away. They wanted to work the ball short. They were able to. Kearney plays it in. Left-footed ball swung round the back and attacked by Adebayo, who wins another corner. It's well defended.
I've got to say they've done that all afternoon. I think, Mitrovic is obviously a real threat in the air, but they've all got around him. Theo has dealt with Mitrovic, I think, from the set pieces very well this afternoon, but they put themselves on the line. I think there's a lot of positive things from Fulham's point of view, but I think certainly the Blackpool manager will be delighted with the way they've defended.
Surely a late winner for Celtic, one up at home to Dundee United. They've had Nearbiton sent off, but Leo Labada has just scored in the 90th minute. Celtic 1, Dundee United 0. In comes the corner in towards the near post, and it's just bounced away from Adebayo. It came in, Ekpiteta tried to clear it, he headed it back towards his own far post, and Adebayo just got deceived by the bounce of the ball, couldn't get anything on it at all, and he goes behind for another corner.
I think just an element of good luck there, wasn't it, from Blackpool's point of view. He just gets the nick on it, takes it away from the Fulham attacker.
In comes another corner, this one much deeper towards the edge of the penalty area, and a complete air shot for Harrison Reed, and now Blackpool will be able to bring it forward quickly. Gabriel with plenty of pace, 4 against 3 just for a moment. Adarabioyo trying to stop the ball coming in. Gabriel has run from one end to the other. It's half cleared out as far as Dougal, and he shanked it wide.
Well, Gabriel is a real athlete, right back for Blackpool today, and he's got a real tough job on his hands. Cabano, I think, is an excellent player. Takes people on, he can pick a pass out. I think he's dealt with him for the most part. Although he was involved in the first goal, Cabano, I think he's done pretty well, Gabriel. I think on that occasion, though, Jim, when they broke there, it was 4 versus 3 for Blackpool. The amount of people they committed forward, it shows their intent in certainly getting back on the goal trail and trying to get back in this game.
The 9 men of Colchester have found a late equaliser at home to Swindon with a goal from Emir Hughes. 1-1. That one destined to finish. Still 0-0 between Luton and Blackburn in the 3rd minute of stoppage time, and that's music to the ears of Fulham supporters. That would take Fulham up to 53 points. That would take Blackburn up to 53 points, I beg your pardon. Fulham, as things stand right now, have 60, so they'll be 7 points clear of Blackburn, who've played an extra game. Bournemouth still winning very late on. QPR have won by 4 goals to 0 at home to Reading. West Brom trailing. Huddersfield drew yesterday, so a good weekend as far as Fulham are concerned, providing they can hold on here. They lead 1-0. We'll run through all the full-time scores for you in about 5 or 6 minutes' time that keep you up to date with the late goals. Sterling. Dispossessed by Carvalho, and it's a throw which will be taken on the Fulham right-hand side. You're with TalkSport 2. Fulham against Blackpool in the EFL Championship. Our coverage is brought to you with McDonald's Fun Football. Search McDonald's Fun Football to find out more. Lavery trying to get the better of Adarabioyo. Didn't quite manage it. It's gone out of play for a throw. Adarabioyo then very quickly complaining to Kearney that he didn't offer himself as a passing avenue for him and that the pressure was needless. Sterling will take a throw for Blackpool. This one far from over yet.
Well, I think it's a lot more even now, isn't it? You can see, they've got a goal lead. I think they're going to have to add to it because Blackpool looking like they've got a goal in them.
Bowler. Oh, good ball from Dougal. Gabriel, right-hand side of the penalty area, rifles it in towards the near post, and it's tipped round that post by Rodak for Blackpool's first corner.
Well, Gabriel's getting forward a lot more, isn't he? I think a lot of his afternoon has been about defending, on the edge of his own box. Well, now, I think in this last 10 minutes, he's found himself in there at least twice, maybe 3 times, Gabriel.
Corner to be taken on the Blackpool right-hand side. This is their first of the game. Lavery, striker, waits unmarked on the edge of the D. Fulham have got 9 back. They've left 2 up top. The ball swung in. Everybody's missed it. Goalkeeper got stuck in traffic. Ekpiteta couldn't get a touch, and it's drifted innocuously in the end. Wide and out of play for a goal kick, which will be taken away to our left-hand side. The National League late winner for Aldershot at Weymouth. It's finished Gillingham 2, Oxford 7 in that balmy game in League One, in which Cameron Brannigan scored 4 penalties. Remember 5 being given in a game back in the late 70s. And remember that Palace-Brighton game, Kelvin Morton the referee, and gave 5. I think 3 of them were missed, but Brannigan scoring 4 penalties today for Oxford at Gillingham in that 7-2 win. Blackpool have got it, and Ekpiteta will play it out towards the Blackpool right for Gabriel. Gabriel down the line, past Bowler though. Lavery chasing gamely, but was always going to be beaten to the ball by Ream, and the ball was always going to beat the pair of them over the line and out of play for a goal kick. It's still 1-0, 55 on the clock in this delayed game here at Craven Cottage on TalkSport 2.
Lavery's playing up front, really through the middle, isn't he, for Blackpool? And although they played a lot higher up the pitch, a lot of his work is about chasing the ball a lot of the time. I think he's supplied a couple of lovely balls for teammates that maybe they could have made more of. But certainly he's a player that's caught my eye. And in fact, there are a few Blackpool players, Jim, who've impressed me this afternoon.
Late equaliser for Preston at home to Bristol City 2-2. Emil Jakobsen scored both of the goals for Ryan Lowe's Preston, including the equaliser 5 minutes into stoppage time. Still playing there. No foul here. There's a challenge from Connolly on Carvalho. The ball has gone out of play for a throw, but it'll be taken on the Fulham left-hand side by Joe Bryan. With the remaining teams in the NFL just one win away from Super Bowl 56, TalkSport brings you live exclusive UK radio coverage this Sunday night of the NFC Championship game. Which more in a moment as Blackpool bring it forward again and score! It's Bowler against his old club yet again. Ball played out the left-hand side of the penalty area. It was pulled back by Hamilton, and running onto it, Bowler has side-footed it into the bottom right-hand corner, and it's Fulham 1, Blackpool 1.
Oh, the Rabiot gives the ball away, but once he gives the ball away, you've still got a lot to do. Hamilton is the one that's nicked it. He travels down the left-hand side, and it looked like he'd overcooked it, but no, he plays a ball back in. This is a difficult finish for Bowler. He has to keep it down, he has to find the power. He did both, and I think deservedly they're on level terms.
Superbly taken goal as well, and it was just one loose ball from Adebayo, picked up on the left-hand side of the penalty area, but it was the quality of Bowler's run towards the edge of the box. Bryan had tracked in with him, but he got there first, got his left foot to it, and siphoned it into the bottom right-hand corner. And 12 minutes into the second half, it's all square again.
Well, you give us a stat that should have let us know what this game was going to be about. It was about them actually scoring late on in game, second half, staying in the game, showing character, exactly what Blackpool have done. Now it's all up to Fulham, isn't it? They've got the quality out there. The fans are getting a bit impatient, a bit frustrated. Can they get back in the game again?
Well, he's only scored 4 goals in his career as Josh Bowler, and 2 of them have come against Fulham this season. That equalising goal coming on 57 minutes. Fulham try to respond, have a corner away to our right-hand side. Blackburn still playing at Luton, incidentally, 0-0. The other games in the Championship have all finished apart from this one. Bournemouth held on to win. It's a corner which will be taken on the Fulham right. Left-footed, deep towards the far post. And it's come off Sterling, I think, and out of play for another corner. We've had a flurry of them in the beginning of this second half. 5 now. Fans trying to get behind their side. Quality of play in the opening 10 minutes was as good as anything seen at this level this season or in many others, but Blackpool hung in there and back on level terms as we approach the hour mark. This latest corner, Fulham's 9th of the afternoon. Left-footed away swinger, Mitrovic going up for it. It's left-footed, bounced back in by Wilson, but it's gone well wide and out of play for a goal kick. There's a Blackpool player down needing treatment inside his own penalty area. And we've got to the hour mark with the scores dead level at 1 apiece.
Well, showing a lot of character now, Blackpool. I think, it's not just character. I think what they have done, I think certainly the manager has said to them, look, we've got the ability to hurt Fulham, to score against them. I think the previous games, as good as they've been going forward and scoring lots and lots of goals for them, you do know that you can get at them, and they will concede as well. And I think, they've put that into practice, really, Blackpool. I think the last sort of 20 minutes, whenever they've won a ball back, they've committed people forward. And what that's done, I think we spoke about before the game, Jimmy, it makes everybody a bit tense in the ground. We can hear people right behind us. I mean, they're more or less sitting with us, aren't they, in these commentary positions? You can see them getting frustrated when their ball goes backwards or somebody gets dispossessed. And the players start to know that. They know that they're not allowed to make a mistake, that the crowd are going to be on their backs, and it creates a really tense atmosphere. But it's all about really being able to deal with that now from Fulham's point of view.
Richard Keogh down receiving treatment away to our right-hand side. So these are full times in the Championship. Barnsley 0, Bournemouth 1, Hull 2, Swansea 0, Luton 0, Blackburn 0, Middlesbrough 1, Coventry 0, Millwall 2, West Brom 0, Preston 2, Bristol City 2, and Queen's Park Rangers 4, Reading 0. So the table, Fulham right now 58, Blackburn, having played an extra game, 53, Bournemouth 52, QPR 51, West Brom 45, they played an extra game as well, Middlesbrough 45, and a reminder that at the conclusion of this game from the Cottage, we've got Peterborough against Sheffield United coming your way live on TalkSport 2. Keogh still receiving treatment, so these are League One results. Accrington 2, Morecambe 2, Wimbledon 1, Shrewsbury 1, Bolton 6, Sunderland 0, Cheltenham 0, Wigan 0, Crewe 0, Rotherham 2. They're in the 9th minute of stoppage time there. Doncaster 1, Plymouth 3, Fleetwood 1, Cambridge 1, Gillingham 2, Oxford 7, Lincoln 1, Burton 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Ipswich 0, Wycombe 0, MK Dons 1, and that's in the 5th minute of stoppage time. And in League 2, Bradford 1, Crawley 2, Bristol Rovers 1, Walsall 0, Carlisle 0, Sutton 2, Colchester 1, Swindon 1, Exeter 0, Hartlepool 0, Mansfield 2, Leyton Orient 0, Newport 2, Barrow 1, Northampton 1, Salford 0, Oldham 0, Rochdale 0 with 10 minutes still to play, Port Vale 1, Scunthorpe 0, Stevenage 3, Harrogate 0, Tranmere 0, Forest Green 4. Keogh's received his treatment. He'll be back on the field in a moment and play resumes. Dougal helping it on, Lavery helping it on in turn, Ream can get it away, and the impressive Gabriel comes back, hooks it over his shoulder, where the ball is brought down by the Blackpool goal scorer Bowler. He goes back for Gabriel, and Reed heads it away and out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Fulham right-hand side. Scottish Premiership results: Ross County 3, Rangers 3, Celtic 1, Dundee United 0, Hearts 2, Motherwell 0, Hibs 2, Livingston 3, Rangers 2 points clear of Celtic at the top, Hearts a further 12 adrift. Adebayo back for Ream. Ream's ball forward. Stockport have a 5th at Barnet late on in the National League, and that one's now finished. Kearney played out to Joe Bryan on the Fulham left. In towards Carvalho. Carvalho just trying to get the ball away from Dougal. Instead he gave it away to him, and then Carvalho fouled him, and it's a free kick to Blackpool, level with the edge of the centre circle. The last win here, 1986, was Paul Stewart, who had a fine career after leaving Blackpool, who scored the goal. Crowd that day less than 4,000 on a Saturday afternoon here at Craven Cottage. It's a shade over 17,000 here today. Ball play forward by Blackpool. Hamilton trying to help it back inside the penalty area. Adebayo's knocked it away. Flags up anyway for an offside, and it's a free kick that will be taken by Fulham just inside their own box. 63 gone on TalkSport 2. It's 1-1. Great game. Here's Alvin Martin.
Well, at the start of the game, I think Fulham played some magnificent stuff, as you said, Jimmy. You know, they dominated, shown real class. And we will see on this right-hand side, and Cabano on the left. They were getting lots and lots of ball. The service to them was exceptionally high. They've gone out the game. They haven't really been able to get back into the game this last sort of 10 or 15 minutes, certainly since the equaliser. I can't remember them doing anything, and Fulham have to find a solution to that. They've got to find a way of getting the ball to their match winners, because they're not doing it at the moment.
Wycombe 0, MK Dons 1 is a result in League 1. Ball out of play for a throw, and taken up the line by Gabriel, returned by Ream, and then Dougal heads it out towards the right-hand touchline. Bowler tries to help it on. Free kick is then given away, and another angry action in the midfield. Connolly, who hasn't been too far away from many of the sparring points in the game, is just getting involved, and the referee Peter Banks is forced again to intervene just to try and calm things down. Connolly doesn't really want to be spoken to, doesn't feel that he's done too much wrong, but he is being spoken to along with Joe Bryan. The referee just points to his temples, tells both players to concentrate, and tells them he's watching what's going on. Fulham given away again, and some murmurs of discontent are beginning to increase in volume from the Fulham supporters, because they've lost their way. They can't get Mitrovic into the game at all.
And I think when they were flowing, I think they were playing balls instinctively, spontaneously to each other. They were receiving the ball in tight areas because they felt confident of where they were. Now all of a sudden, I think if they know if they give a ball away, there's going to be a little murmur, there's going to be discontent exhibited around the ground. It makes it harder to play.
This is a Blackpool side that have lost their last 4 away games, including that defeat at Hartlepool of League 2 in the FA Cup. Haven't lost 5 in a row on the road since a run of 6 back just before Christmas in 2015. 6 years ago, but you'd never look at this performance and think that they're a side struggling on the road. Far from it. Here's Reed. Play down to Dennis Adoy. Adoy down the right-hand touchline, and out-muscled by Sterling, who did well to get the better of Wilson. That'll be played for by Keogh. Helped on an excellent header from Hamilton. He's made a good return run as well. Lavery has played him in. Left-hand side of the area. He's trying to drill it across. It's half cleared for Connolly. Takes a touch. Has a shot which is blocked. Appeals for handball only came from the Blackpool fans, not from their players. And then a free kick is given Blackpool's way in a deeper position as Carvalho again has caught Dougal. But that was a decent chance, and it all came after some instinctive, clever play on the left-hand side from Hamilton.
Yeah, and he's shown a real turn of pace, isn't he, on this left-hand side? He's becoming much more of a handful for Odoi. Odoi had all his own way in the first hour or so. He's charging forward, playing as an attacking fullback. He's having to defend a lot more against Hamilton now. The amount of tangerine shirts away on the edge of the box there.
In comes the free kick, headed back down towards the edge of the penalty area. It's then come off the left knee of Reed and goes out for a throw on the Blackpool right-hand side, level with the edge of the penalty area. They have won at Middlesbrough, at Reading, and at Sheffield United on the road this season. 13 points from 12 away games, in contrast to Fulham's impressive record here. Although Fulham have been beaten here by both Reading and Sheffield United, two of the sides that Blackpool have won at. Throw to be taken over on the Blackpool right by Jordan Gabriel in towards the near post. Ream with the first contact. Second contact from Connolly, helping it back into the fray. Fulham try and get it away. Mitrovic holding it up. Right-footed ball over the top from Kearney. And Thornley, did really well. Stepped in, won it back. Bowler is then brought down by Carvalho. It's a yellow card for persistent infringement as much as anything else. He's given a few of those niggling free kicks away in the last 10 minutes or so, and he finds himself in the book along with Odoi, Mitrovic and Dougal of Blackpool. 1-1 midway through the second half, and first time in the game you can now argue Blackpool are the better side.
And niggly, a little bit of niggle throughout the game. I think both sets of players have been trying to get each other's players booked, and I think the referees fell into that trap a little bit. He's got a few more cards out now. I think this game warrants it.
Yeah, that is 4 now. Going across on the far side, Dougal's going to take this free kick. Fulham with everybody back, one in the wall. Dougal getting it in. Mitrovic acrobatically volleys it away, but under duress he was pulled to the ground by Thornley. And it's a free kick. Thornley's done well. First appearance of Blackpool all season. Farmed out on loan to Oxford, where he caught the eye, and such has been the situation with Blackpool, who are without a few. No Anderson, no Husband, no Garbutt. Stewart away on international duty, so they brought Thornley back, and he's done very well. He's been the one that has most closely detailed Mitrovic most of the time. Fulham bring it forward with Wilson. Trying a little acrobatic touch. Sterling was there. No nonsense challenge. Got there ahead of Odoi. Puts it out of play for a throw, which Kearney will take with 20 minutes to go.
I think credit to the manager as well, Thornley. He's come in and he's played left-hand side centre half. I think he's been put into a formation that they're obviously comfortable with, and it's worked perfectly for Blackpool and the manager.
And it is only the third time they've used it. They went 5-3-2 for the recent game against Middlesbrough and lost. They played 5-4-1 at Swansea and drew. 5-4-1 again today. And at the moment, they are drawing with 20 minutes to go.
They look like a team that is coached, a team that knows what it's doing, Jim. When they've got the ball, when they haven't got the ball.
Yeah, they've been excellent. Irrespective of what happens from here. I think it's been a very good performance from Blackpool. 14th in the table against Fulham, who aren't quite runaway leaders, but have a really healthy advantage at the top of the championship. Fulham are going to shuffle the pack, and Rodrigo Muniz is going to be coming on shortly. It might be a double change, actually. Odoi heads it away, out of play for a throw. No sign of any movement on the Blackpool bench as yet, but I think a double change for Fulham. Muniz, who is a young Brazilian, scored a couple at Stoke last week on only his second league start for the club. Dennis Odoi across, gets there ahead of Lavery, puts it out of play for a throw. It's going to be a Blackpool throw, which will be taken in the left-back position by Sterling, making his way forward. Picks up the ball down by the corner flag, is asked by the referee to retreat a few steps down the touchline. 7 yards from the corner flags. He throws it now into the feet of Hamilton, who controls it and then fouls Wilson. It's a free kick which will be taken by Fulham, and Adoy's taking it quickly to Reed, to Ream. Ream emerges from inside his own penalty area, plays it through towards Kearney. Kearney's got Wilson to his right. He's got Mitrovic making his way forward to the left. Wilson again coming infield to Dennis Adoy. Back from him to Harrison Reed. Reed angled into the feet of Kearney. Back for Reed again to Adebayo, and now to Ream. Fulham finding possession relatively easy to come by. Finding good possession much harder. Wilson tripped on the ball as much as anything else. Thornley's able to easily knock it away. And then Lavery heads it back. And it's come off Adoy and goes out of play for a throw. And that gives me the opportunity to remind you what's happening in the NFL. TalkSport bringing live exclusive UK radio coverage this Sunday night of the NFC Championship game as the Los Angeles Rams host their bitter rivals, the 49ers. You can join the TalkSport NFL team from 11:30 tomorrow night on TalkSport for full commentary. That'll be followed by a preview of Super Bowl 56, also live on TalkSport in 2 weeks' time. It's all coming up, the NFL tomorrow on TalkSport. More cricket for you on TalkSport 2 tomorrow. West Indies against England in the 5th T20 International. And Sale against Leicester in the Gallagher Premiership tomorrow afternoon from 3 o'clock here on TalkSport 2. Reed and Cabano off. Chalobah and Muniz on with 20 minutes to go for Fulham.
You can see, I think he needs individuals to change this. They certainly need a little lift, don't you? Supporters do, I think the supporters I think the first quarter now are absolutely delighted with the football, the standard of the football, but it's gone off since then, so I think they need to be reawoken.
Wilson, Mitrovic helping it forward. He's got a partner in crime up top now. Muniz couldn't get there. And it goes out of play, but I think the referee thought it was a foul by Brian Ombola before that, and it's going to be a free kick which Blackpool will take on the right-hand side. Coming up during the week, Tuesday night, kick-off with Adrian Durham, Danny Mills and Neil Redfern over on Talk Sport. All the goals as they go in another busy night of EFL action. That includes the likes of Millwall Preston, Swansea against Luton and Sheffield Wednesday Morecambe. Our live game here on Talk Sport 2 on Tuesday night is Wigan against Oxford in League One, and then we've got both of the semi-finals coming up for you Wednesday and Thursday from the Continental Cup. Here's Sterling making his way forward for Blackpool inside the penalty area. Shot which hit Adebayo and is cleared, and then it's headed down by Chalobah and out of play for a throw. Those Conti Cup semi-finals Wednesday, Chelsea Manchester United 7 o'clock on TalkSport 2. Thursday, Manchester City Tottenham 7 o'clock again here on TalkSport 2. And then next weekend, starting Friday night with our exclusive Manchester United against Middlesbrough. You won't hear it anywhere else on national radio. We've got the FA Cup 4th round for you over the following 4 days, Friday through Monday next weekend on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. Peels for a handball against Sterling, right down by the corner flag, and then the referee gives a free kick at the advice of his linesman for a foul by Wilson, who has then talked himself into the book with an angry reaction. Did he have a case?
No, I think the battle between them two has been good, isn't it? Sterling and Wilson. Sterling was trying to let the ball run out and he didn't have enough pace on it, so Wilson wasn't going to let him off the hook, but what he did, he over-physicaled in there, and it was a foul. But it has been a good battle, entertaining.
15 minutes to go. 1-1 the scoreline between Fulham and Blackpool. No doubt which of the two sides will be happier with the point. Ball is brought down by Connolly. Not that Blackpool are playing as if they just want a point. Far, far from it.
That's what's impressed me, Jim. They haven't just sat there. We're back in the game now, 1-1. They're looking at adding to that scoreline.
Ball's played forward by Chalobah through the midfield. He's only had 4 starts all season for Fulham. Now Adoy back into Chalobah again. Turn neatly around the corner for Kearney. Kearney bringing it forward, a more advanced role for him after the substitutions have been made. Out to the left-hand side of the penalty area. Pull back for Chalobah. Right-footed shot. And it's gone wide. Smacked into the hoardings wide of the left-hand post.
Well, Cavagna, he just laid it there and said, go on, you have to stop that. You can hit that first time, and he did hit it first time. He kept it down. A lot of the time when it's coming across your body like that, you see a lot of players hit it high, don't you? This one he didn't. He kept it down, but it just went left of the post. I think it was about a yard left of the post. Good strike though.
14 minutes to go in this one. If you're just joining us, there's a medical emergency in the crowd in the first half, and play stopped for just over 40 minutes, which is why we're still going here. But elsewhere, whilst this game has been going on, second place Blackpool have been held to a 0-0 draw at Luton. Third place Bournemouth have won at Barnsley. This one apiece. Another free kick has been given Blackpool's way. And Grimshaw come way outside his penalty area to take it. He's halfway between the edge of the box and the halfway line. Long right-footed ball forward. Dennis Adoy got his head underneath it. Goes down towards the corner flag. Hamilton will watch it out, and it's a throw down by that corner flag that'll be taken by Blackpool.
I'm going to say Blackpool have looked really resolute, solid, not under any pressure the last few minutes. But as a player, you know that they've got like 5 or 6 individuals out there that can turn a game one moment, and all the good work is undone. So they'll be aware of that.
Host of the African Cup of Nations, Cameroon lead Gambia 2-0 with Karl Toko Ekambi, the Lyon forward, with both of those goals early on. Cameroon leading Gambia 2-0 in the African Cup of Nations. Ball play forward by Blackpool. Lavery heading it down, hoping that Hamilton was slightly further advanced on the left wing. He wasn't. It's gone out for a Fulham throw, but it does give the Tangerines the opportunity just to condense the play again and try and box Fulham back into their own right back position. The clock's ticking pretty quickly if you're a Fulham fan. The side that has scored 74 league goals this season, on target before today to get to 124. No side's ever scored more than 99 in the Championship before. So Fulham with plenty of heavy artillery, but it's Blackpool that are asking the pertinent questions at the moment, and they've won another corner after good work from Hamilton on the Blackpool left, which Dougal's going to come out to take. 78 gone, 1-1, Blackpool on the front foot.
Well, I think they look certainly more in control of the game than Fulham do at the moment. I think they've lost the way, Fulham, and it's Blackpool who are passing the ball. They're together, they're tenacious, they're playing a lot of their football in and around the Fulham penalty area.
Dougal, the Aussie, who had such a sparkling playoff campaign for Blackpool last year. 3 goals he scored in that playoff campaign. Taking this corner in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. A really good header away from Adebayo when he had to win it. Then it's chipped back over the top, trying to get Connolly in. Right-footed shot from Lavery, but in his haste to get an effort in as the ball was coming down, he shanked it really off the top of his right boot, and it spins away nearer the corner flag than the goal. And out for a goal kick. 11 to go. It's Fulham 1, Blackpool 1, with Peterborough against Sheffield United to come.
That was Lavery's first look at goal, wasn't it? He tried to take it on the volley, got it all wrong, but he's ran his heart out, and he's being substituted at the moment. So that's the last bit of action we'll see from him there. But he sacrificed himself for the cause today.
And he comes off to be replaced by Jerry Yates, the former Swindon striker, who scored 23 goals for Blackpool last season, their most in the league since Andy Watson back nearly 30 years ago. Yates comes on, and he is lively. 7 goals for him this season. He's maybe not found the Championship quite as easy as it perhaps he expected. What a good signing he would be, though, if he went back down to League One. He's a good player. And he's got 10 minutes to make an impression here. No foul. Blackpool able to bring the ball out. It was Carvalho that went down. Thornley turning it back to his goalkeeper. Grimshaw gets it clear. High right-footed clearance from him, which is a difficult one for Adebayo to deal with as it came out of the lights. Then headed away by Chalobah, not convincingly. Down towards the left-hand side. Hamilton loads of space. Left-footed ball driven in towards the near post and tipped round by Rodak. Fulham's defending has got completely awry.
6 Tangerine shirts in that penalty area, including Hamilton, who had the shot. That shows you that they're looking to win this game. Never mind walk away with a point. They are looking more and more likely to add the next goal to this scoreline.
Dougal will come across to take the corner. Third of the second half. Richard Keogh is forward, and again, completely unmarked. Now Kearney will come out and try and deal with him. There's Keogh as the target. He ran onto it towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Rodak did well, came out, punched it clear, and it goes out for a throw that will be taken on the Blackpool right-hand side by Jordan Gabriel. Gabriel's had a couple of red cards this season, throwing the ball in towards the edge of the penalty area. Not his best throw, and it's easily cleared by Brian. Mitrovic tried to help it on. Back over the top from Dougal. Brian will let that one go over his shoulder and out of play. The goal kick that Rodak will take with 8.5 minutes to go. What do Fulham need to improve offensively? They've got to tidy things up defensively because they have a chance of coming away to our left. But how do they get more of the ball? And how do they create more chances to try and win this game?
Well, Jim, you're right to point out it's both sides of the game that they're struggling. They're not looking great defensively. They're not looking solid. I think it's Blackpool who look more likely to score. And they've got to have more composure. They've got to be able to certainly move the ball through the tighter areas of the pitch and be braver.
Ream. Playing into the feet of Kearney. Kearney back for Chalobah in the midfield, and now into the feet of Dennis Adoy. They're fit. They're a really fit team, aren't they, Blackpool? I mean, there's been no let-up in the intensity of the press.
See, I can hear the groans behind me. Whenever the ball goes back or somebody, hasn't found the target, that's when you've got to be brave. You've got to say, I'm not taking any notice of the crowd. I'll do when you all pat me on the back and you're shouting and applaud me. I'll take notice of you then. But when you're getting impatient now and you're getting frustrated, I've got to be able to block that out of my mind as a player.
8 to go. 1-1 the scoreline. Knight has fallen here in West London. Dennis Adoy is coming off and Knockaert is coming on, so that's an attack-minded change. If they've got any worries about their inability defensively to cope with Blackpool at the moment, they've taken a full-back off and brought a winger on. And are they going to play him out right back? They are. I thought maybe they would have to change the shape, but Knockaert has come on as an attack-minded right back for the final 7 minutes.
Hamilton will certainly think, I think I might be able to take you on, but they've got to be able to get Knockaert up the pitch. That means they've got to start to control the possession better.
Good little flick on, and Muniz has ballooned it over the bar. He's almost hit the big screen behind that goal at the Hammersmith end. Just a half chance for him. That arguably is the best game of the Fulham shirt last week with a couple of goals. The second, he only got the slightest touch on a shot which came in from Carvalho, but he has been credited with it. So 5 goals this season for Rodrigo Muniz. 3 of those coming off the bench. Will he be a super sub again here? Hasn't had an opportunity really apart from that one. Now the ball is headed in his direction. He's done well to flick it on towards Mitrovic. Kearney arriving. Muniz will make a run. One way, Knockaert the other, Knockaert back in towards Muniz. It ricochets high up in the air inside the penalty area and is half cleared. Chalobah with a header forward after Dougal's clearance. Kearney can pick it up. And Kearney will play it out to the Fulham left-hand side for Joe Bryan. Bryan working it back. Far inside the penalty area. Muniz is offside as Keogh missed his defensive header, but the flag is up. And it's a free kick which will be taken by Blackpool. 6 minutes plus stoppage time to go.
Well, Knockaert will come on, and he's playing on this right-hand side for Fulham, and what they're going to do is just sort of say to him, just go and play right wing. And they'll play with 3 at the back, and Hamilton has got a decision to make. Does he go back and mark Knockaert, or does he say, no, I'm running out, look, they're getting the ball the other side of you, and that will cause Fulham a real problem. And I think the Blackpool coach will say, no, let him go, we'll deal with him, we'll get the ball to you.
And Chalobah is going to be absolutely integral in being able to deal with it as well, because he's playing on the right of central midfield. So Knockaert is given the licence to push forward. Chalobah is going to have to be the man that is going to come across and try and cover in that vacant area in behind him, whilst the 2 centre halves and Joe Bryan at left back, the 3 sort of more static defenders, shuffle across. 5 to go. It's 1-1. Tim Ream bringing it forward for Fulham. Now to Knockaert. Knockaert making a run, and he's got round the back of Sterling. He checks, tries to deliver, just lost his balance. He was unlucky there. Sterling's going to be able to get it away. But good interaction there between Kearney and Knockaert down the Fulham right. Ream. Well, look at the Robbie Savages about him. Hope his lawyer's not listening. Here's Ream bringing it forward again. towards the edge of the penalty area. Almost a clever pass. He ended up bisecting the gap between Muniz and Carvalho, the two young Fulham forwards, and Blackpool will be able to bring it away. You wouldn't bet against a third goal in this game, but if you're a brave man who'd say with any certainty at which end it's going to come. Bowler has just been fouled now by Bryan, and it's a free kick to Blackpool midway inside the Fulham half with 4 to go at 1-1.
He's done a team a favour there, Bowler. He's got obviously Bryan, and he's got Wilson right on him, and he's got nowhere to go. He's right on the touchline, but he's still bought himself a foul, and again he's been impressive today. He hit the bar, didn't he? Scored a goal, and he's somebody I think has shown that when he gets the ball, he's a handful to be able to defend against.
22 goals Fulham have scored in the last 4 games. What they give for another one late on here. First of all, though, a Blackpool set piece to defend. 1-1 the scoreline. Right footed, swung inside the penalty area. Ekpiteta with a header, and it's claimed by the goalkeeper. Wouldn't have counted. There was a foul in there. Rodak just asking for clarification as to what the call for the referee is. It is a free kick. He's taking it quickly. Tosin playing it forward. Chalobah. And you can hear the murmurs of discontent around us because he resisted the temptation to go forwards and just played a more conservative pass instead. Now Fulham can work it in. Knockout deep towards the far post, and Muniz with a difficult ball as he was leaning and stretching. Could only head it into the ground and wide of the near post, and out of play for a goal kick. 3 to go. Fulham 1, Blackpool 1, and Peterborough against Sheffield United to come straight after the conclusion of this game. But as things stand, it looks as though the status quo is going to be maintained on a day when Blackburn only drew. Looks as though Fulham aren't going to be able to take full advantage, and the lead will stay at 5.
It's a fabulous watch though, hasn't it, Jim? It really has. It's been a game that's had you on the edge all the way through. Not many people would have seen this 1-1. The form that Fulham are in. You'd have thought, there's going to be certainly a massive advantage, and the bookies certainly had it that way before, but at this moment in time, they're more than, I think, deserving of a point here, maybe all 3, Blackpool.
Well, it's full of admiration for what Neil Critchley and Blackpool have achieved before this game, but having seen them in the flesh, they haven't had too many opportunities to do this season. The game of this magnitude, that admiration has gone through the roof. The game plan has been clever, it's been well carried out. You've talked at length, Alv, about how well drilled the players are, how well coached they are. What a good example it is of what can be achieved on a small budget.
Well, I think the thing that again is really impressive is that after the long break, after the medical emergency early on in this game, his team were on the wrong path, but he's been able to get back into the dressing room, talk to them all, and he reinvents his side really in that team talk, and that's what hits home with me, that I've seen a manager more or less get a timeout given to him and make the most of it.
90 seconds to go, plus stoppage time. Be a bit to be added on. I mean, Keogh had a lengthy spell of treatment, so it could easily be 5 minutes at it. The free kick has now been given Fulham's way, hence the ironic cheers, suggesting the body language of the Fulham players would suggest they've lost faith with the referee and his ability to make the right decisions. That was a shocking free kick taken by Wilson, straight to Bowler. And Mitchell is sprinting forward. Hamilton is there. Hamilton inside the penalty area. Bowler's still got possession. Jerry Yates is there on the scene as well now. And Bowler will take it down towards the right-hand touchline. He's won a throw off Bryan, and it goes out of play for a Blackpool throw, an opportunity potentially to launch a long one inside the penalty area from Gabriel. By the time he's received the ball and dried it on his shirt, will just about be in stoppage time. 1-1 here on TalkSport 2.
Bowler again, clever play, all little things that make you think, oh yeah, he knows what he's doing there. He didn't really want to take Bryan on, he wanted to keep possession for his team. That's exactly what he's done on the edge of the box. He's taken the throw, and the whistle has gone. Yates has made a foul. Oh, is he? No, not me, isn't he? He's asking for the throw to be retaken. It's 4 added minutes, so 4 additional minutes. The opportunity for Fulham or Blackpool to turn 1 point into 3. Peterborough against Sheffield United just kicking off. It is the second half of our live double bill here on TalkSport 2, and we will be there as soon as this one finishes. 1-1 the scoreline here. The free kick is taken
or has been given over on the far touchline. It was a throw that was taken. The referee spotted an infringement. It's an offside, maybe. It's a free kick which is going to be taken over on the far touchline by Rodak. 1-1 with another 3.5 minutes left to play.
So they're not sitting too deep as well. That's again a side that's being coached. That's the right line they're holding there from this long free kick.
Yeah, that line is only 15 yards inside the Blackpool half. Forward it comes from Rodak. Headed on by Mitrovic. Blackpool won so much second ball in this second half. Connolly got it away. Adebayo forced to head it all the way back to his goalkeeper, who will claim it. Rodak spins it outside the penalty area and now will bring it forward himself and then punt it right-footed. A spinning ball towards the edge of the penalty area. Looks as though Mitrovic had Ekpiteta's arms all round him. Ekpiteta won it. And Fulham will pick it up on the far touchline, but they're back inside their own half again. Tim Reen. Long ball skied into the path of Mitrovic. Formally wins it. Excellent defensive header from him, and Grimshaw will trot down towards the byline, wait for the nearest Fulham player to come and put pressure on and just flick it up into his hands. Bounce the ball now 2 or 3 times and make his way towards the edge of the penalty area. Fulham 1, Blackpool 1 on TalkSport 2. 90 seconds of stoppage time have been played. It's forward towards the impressive Bowler. Wins the throw from Joe Bryan, and Blackpool will get the bodies forward again.
No sign whatsoever of panic in this Blackpool line. You think that, you know, somebody coming here to Craven Cottage at this stage where they're playing against the Fulham team who are absolutely on fire, you think they'd be hanging on for dear life? Absolutely not. They're composed, they're thoughtful, they're intelligent about the way they're going about this job.
Blackpool take the throw. Fulham will be able to bring it away with Tim Reen. Reen emerging outside the penalty area. Another opportunity for the Fulham fans behind us to shout too slow, which has been a recurring theme in this second half. Adebayo, long right-footed ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area that Keogh can gobble up and head clear. Off the top of Dougal's head. 1:15 of stoppage time still to go. Chalobah back for Adebayo. Adebayo, long right-footed ball forward from him. It's 1-1 deep in stoppage time. Headed away by Gabriel. Out of play for a Fulham throw in front of the Hammersmith end, but Joe Bryan will go across to take, and we're in the 4th and final minute of stoppage time. Bryan retrieves the ball, but he's going to leave it for Tosin. Tosin drives the ball on his white number 16 shirt. Fulham got knock on the edge of the D. He's taking his time about it, this long throw. Now he hurls it in, looking for a near post flick. It's another impressive header away from Keogh, who's gone down injured inside his penalty area. Might just need a little bit more treatment, but that, I think, is a wily old pro who's played the thick end of 600, 700 games in his career, knowing when to manage the situation.
I think as well, the system has been perfect for Keogh. He's got there 2 players on either side of him, a little bit less pace than he used to have, so he's looked comfortable all afternoon in there. I've got to say, the battle that he's had with Mitrovic, although Mitrovic got on the score sheet, after that, really, he hasn't had a sniff at goal.
Free kick is taken, and it's the last kick of the game. It's the Blackpool fans away to our left-hand side are celebrating. Big roar of approval from them. They thoroughly deserved it. Alexander Mitrovic early on for Fulham. 12 minutes into the second half, Josh Bowler equalising. Fulham still with a 5-point lead at the top of the championship. The reaction of some of the Fulham fans around us is one of huge frustration. Their position is still very solid, but they've blown the opportunity to extend their lead. Blackburn drew, but Fulham were held as well.